Alright, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD1100 C# Programming Fundamentals class, I've been doing a series of video presentations based on the book for the classes, which as you can see here is Muroc C# 2015. I'm going to go through all 26 chapters. And in these chapters, I am going over PowerPoints, and in addition, I am creating some kind of a perpetual payroll program. And part of my problem, and I've got many of them, but part of them is I'll be in the middle of something and something else will pop into my head. Oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do this. All right. I'm going to try to change this. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to create a boolean variable that I'm going to call flag, and I'm going to set it equal to false. Okay, now you might say, okay, hopefully by now you know what a boolean variable is. All right, so I'm going to come in here, and where I've got all this stuff, I'm going to leave it all here for right now, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to input hours worked, okay, and I'm going to say here while not flag. So while flag is false, since I set it to false here, I'll have to go into that. All right, so let me just get rid of this. It's going to probably give me an error, spit something at me, but there's the curly for it. Good. All right, so while it's false, come in here and read an hours worked. Okay? Now, if it's not numeric, like this, I'm going to tell you to read it again, and I'm going to type in here continue, which means basically skip the rest of what's in here and jump back up to the top. All right? So I have put in a value here. I've asked you, I've said if it's bad, give me a message, and I don't need this any longer. So if it's bad, give me a message box and continue on, which means jump me right back up here. I know that it's still false, so even though the light switch is turned off, I'm going to turn it off anyway. So I'm going to say flag equal false, just so there's no doubt. All right? So once I get down to here, I know that I've got something numeric in here. All right. So while it's out of range, okay, so once I get down here, I know I've got a number. So while that number is out of range, I'm going to give you an out of range error. And again, I'm going to set continue equal to false, flag equal to false, and continue. So once I get out of here, it should be valid. Now, that's part of it. Let's take a quick look. This may work, this may not work. I like putting myself out there like this. I do. So Jeff Scott, let's leave it blank now. Okay, non-numeric, good. Okay, so you can tell I'm in an infinite loop. Well, that isn't good. Let's see. I may, hopefully I can just do that. And I can end that task. Good. All right, so what was the problem here? Well, that continue is getting us actually back up to here. We want to get back up to here. All right, so we not only want to continue, let's see, we need, for lack of better words, like two continues. Does this have to be a while? Can this be an if? If it's not numeric, we give the message, we set flag to false, and we continue. All right? That continue should skip the rest of this and jump us back up to here. All right? If we change this to an if, we're still going to say flag is false and continue, which should get us back up to here. All right, so I changed my, want that to be a while. All right, that goes to here, but I'm changed those to ifs. So let's see if that works. Jeff, Scott, I'll leave it blank. Error message, ask me again. That's good. How about out of range? Nope. Okay, it is telling me to do it again. See that? Hours worked. How about in range? Now it's not taking anything. Okay. Alrighty. We technically shouldn't even have to continue right there. Flag is false, which should pump us up to right here. Since it's false, it should ask us again. All right? And that's if the hours worked was less than this or it was greater than this. Trying to figure out very quickly. See, it still doesn't like this. It's still telling us enter hours worked, even with a valid value. It's less than the minimum, or it's greater than the maximum. All right, but if it's not, it should be skipping this. How about this? Else. So I know, so else flag equals true. All right. So if this is false, I'm going to do this and just go jump back up to here. If I get down to here, numeric input was entered. All right. So now do a range check. This was check for non-numeric input. Okay? So if it is valid, I want to say flag equals true, so I get out of here. All right? If that's the case, if I put in, I'm going to try to put in nothing, and I hope to get this error, the non-numeric. Then I'm going to put in a negative value and hope to get this. A positive value out of range and hope to get that. Then a value within range and hope to get this. All right? So we'll see. So first, nothing. We get an error message. Good. Then we get that same. They both said, I believe, non-numeric. Good. So, out of range. And it took it. But it did ask me for the hourly rate. And that's because what we should be checking here is temp. Okay. What do I mean? That temp. So I'm getting an error because I've got to say if temp dot convert. Oops. If got to do the same thing we did here. I'm going to grab the one that already works. So if we convert it and it's less than the minimum hours or we convert it, and it's greater than the maximum hours. All right, so we're making progress. All right, so nothing, I get non-numeric, non-numeric, I get non-numeric, out of range, I get out of range, and it's still keeping me here, too much. All right, I get out of range, 40, in range, I'm jumping to hourly rate. All right. Hopefully that made sense. You know what? I'm kind of tired of saying I'm sorry. I guess I should just, occasionally at least, I like to come in here and do something on the fly, which is what we're doing today. All right? So like I said, sometimes I like doing that, and you can see when I do what can happen. So let's grab all of this. All right, and that's going to get us to line 108. That's what I'd like to remember. So that's going to get us to line 108. I'm going to come in here and change all of these to hourly rate. All right, so I've got to go back and I've got to reset flag to false. All right, so all these will have to be changed to hourly rate. Should I just grab that whole thing? Now I did that very quickly. No apologies for that, but let's just check everything. Nothing, get the error. All right. Okay. Nothing, get the error. Nothing, get the error. I can change that to say, please enter a valid. I can do that later. I'm not worried about that. Out of range, get the error. Do it again. Out of range the other way. Error and do it again. Valid. Now it's asking for the rate. Nothing. Okay. I get the non-numeric. Actual non-numeric. I get the non-numeric. Out of range. I get the out of range. Out of range the other way. I get the out of range. Finally, since I got a 40 here, let's put a 20 here. 40, 20, 800. Looks good. So the only thing that I want to do here, all right, is on these error messages where we say, please enter, let's see. Well, this is the one that's reading all of these. This is the only write statement that we put in here because we used a loop. This is the only write statement that we put in here. So I'm going to leave this just as it is. All right, we're doing great. This will finish, will be the last lecture then for the console program for Chapter 5. So we incorporated control structures, the while loop, and the if statement. We also added the continue statement in here so you could see how that worked. All right, and we wrote our own function, our isNumeric, and finally we came in here and we did range checking, etc. Okay? As far as I can tell, so we wrote our own function for his numeric. All right? When we come in and go back and write our program for the next chapter, which we'll do shortly, if you look on here, the next chapter is how to code methods and event handlers. So rather than writing all of our code as we've done basically under the button events or just having it run from main, all right, we're going to write separate methods. We're going to do what's called modularize the program. So I'll be back with those shortly.